Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, Reeling in Holistic Health, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I'm your host, Coach Rice, and I want to make sure that you tune in every Monday at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I have my special guest on to talk about real issues that matter most. I want you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook Live, on Business Facebook page, also on the Be Awesome Network. Stay tuned. I think you're going to really like this next guest. Happy Monday and welcome to Casting the Net, where we care about your mental health and well-being. I am your host, Coach Rice, and with me today, I have a special guest, Alan Lazaros. Alan is a business coach, and he is the CEO of Next Level Podcast. So, Alan, tell us where you're from and how did you embark upon that journey?
So where I'm from is born and raised in Massachusetts. Traveled a bit and I love it. If you've never been to Massachusetts, it's amazing. Huge fan. But anyways, so how did I get to where I am? So you mentioned Next Level Podcast. It's Next Level University Podcast. We have 2,350 episodes. We do an episode every day. And really what happened, the shortest possible version I can give you is when I was really young, 1991, my birth father died in a car accident very suddenly. An older sister who was 6, mom who was 31, very tragic. Stepfather came into my life. So my birth father was John McCorkle. His name was Steve Lazaros. So I took his last name, I think around age 7. He left my family when I was 14. And then I sort of became this. He did well, so he took most of the income with him when he left, including his entire extended family. So we went from sort of boats and ski trips to I get free lunch at school because our income is so low. How am I going to go to college? Man of the house by 14 type of thing. I got straight A's through high school, got all the scholarships and financial aid that I possibly could. I got to one of the best engineering colleges in the world. It's called WPI, like a mini MIT in Massachusetts. And I did computer engineering, master's in business, graduated with high distinction, went into corporate, and I rose the ranks very quickly. I became a global 1% earner in my early 20s. Paid off all my college debt, boom, boom, boom. I was investing a ton of money in the stock market very, very well. So I had external success, the American dream for sure. And I'm very grateful for that because I grew up rough. But I got in my car accident at 26, head-on collision, my fault. No one was killed, fortunately. I was driving a 2004 Volkswagen Passat because I refused to buy a depreciating asset that was expensive. So I bought that. And that saved my life because Volkswagen, I used to call this thing the tank. It's a super safe car. So no one was killed, but this was sort of the second chance my dad never got. So when I was 26, I reinvented myself and started a company called Alan Lazaros LLC, what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know. And that was really my qualm was I found self-improvement, personal growth, and personal development when I was 26. And I went so immersed into that world. And I was like, I was a straight A student. Why didn't I learn any of this in school? You know, fitness, finance, habits, courage, humility, vulnerability, emotional intelligence, productivity, time management, all this stuff. Where was this in school? And so what you'll never learn in school, but desperately need to know was my sort of mantra 11 years ago. And now we have a 23-person team, 126 paying clients. We produce 86 podcasts. It's become much bigger. I coach 26 business owners currently. But it's that same mission still, which is how do we spread self-improvement, personal growth, and personal development into the world? Because everyone wants to be healthy, wealthy, and in love, but those are byproducts. Those are byproducts of financial mastery and fitness mastery and humility, courage, and vulnerability. And so working on yourself, when you become better, your life becomes better and the world becomes better. So that's still the main theme of my life.
Oh, wow. So how important is the compound effect when it comes to success?
Yeah. So the compound effect, Einstein called the law of compounding the eighth wonder of the world. And for those of you who are not fans of math, I know a lot of people aren't. I was the science, technology, engineering, mathematics, business, and finance. That stuff I loved. And anyone can do this. So if you go to a financial calculator online, just type into Google financial calculator. You put $1 into the financial calculator and you grow it by 0.1% per day. This is 1/10 of 1% per day. So picture a penny cut into 10 slices. That's 1/10 of 1%. If you grow it every day for 50 years, it becomes $84 million. It's 83 something. I rounded up. $84 million. Guess what it is if you take weekends off?
What?
$439,000.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make that shift.
So this is why people call me nuts. I haven't taken a full day off in 11 years. But ultimately, sometimes it's an hour a day, sometimes it's 10, sometimes it's 18. Usually it's somewhere in the middle. But the reason I always move the needle a little bit each day is just the power of the compound effect. And if you and I both want to get better at something and I don't take days off and you do, at first, there's no difference. First few years, there's no noticeable difference. But decades in, it gets drastic. And in that metaphor, you can do this with a financial calculator. $1, 365 days a year, 50 years. You can put that in. Boom, 84 million. The person who takes weekends off has 191 times less money just for those 2 days a week. And here's the truth. And this has been really hard for me. Very few people know that.
You're right. I didn't know that either.
Yeah, like, and I don't blame that. We weren't taught this. Yeah, it's 2 days a week though, every week, 52 weeks a year for 50 years. So, but that's the thing that I think makes me maybe a little weird and different is that we have 2,350 episodes. And in the beginning, the whole first year, we only had 1,056 listens. The whole first year, 52 weeks a year, 1 episode a week back then, 52 episodes. Only 1,056 total. We get more than that per day now. That's the compound effect. That's the compound effect. And if people think linearly in a world of exponentials, they're in trouble. And I'm saying that because I care, not because I'm trying to be a dick.
You don't take off on weekends.
Mm-mm.
How do you rest?
So again, I'm numbers. So 80-20 principle. So if you sleep 8, you have 16 hours a day, 112 hours per week, and 20% R&R is what I call it. So 80-20, 80% productivity, 20% R&R is 3.1 hours. So I do R&R every single day. The minimum for me is an hour. Sometimes I get more. But I think that my approach is different in the syntax. I think some people, and again, this used to be me for sure before the car accident, I wasn't maxed out. I wasn't optimized. I wasn't putting it all on the court. I wasn't reaching my full potential. Before the car accident, I was resting on talent, and I was working harder than the average bear, but I definitely wasn't maxed out. If you do want to maximize this life and like leave a legacy that you maximize your potential, you can't. This is the syntax. Some people work so they can rest more. Other people rest so they can work more. And I'm definitely the second one.
That's true.
Yeah. And I'm the second one.
Rest
and
so
again,
you can work more.
It's meaningful work. I'm not just doing things I don't like, right? It's meaningful work for me. So I want to maximize my impact and my potential.
Okay. So what is your onboarding process as a business coach?
I've never been asked that question before. So we go into a private WhatsApp group. All my clients are in WhatsApp. I have one private group that has all 26 of them in there, actually. And I create your full name -BC. And then I have a link that I send you, and you pick either once every 4 weeks, once every 2 weeks, once every week, or I have some that are twice a week, 3 times a week. And I have one that's 4 times a week, actually. They're hour-long sessions. One of my clients, actually the one I'm about to get on now, in 9 minutes, he's 4 times a week. So you pick a run rate, and then we create a peak performance tracker, which is essentially it's dreams, goals, metrics, habits, skills, and identity. And it's all reverse engineered. So most people are winging it. When I do this work, it's engineering success really is what it is. And what we do is we take seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, quarters, years, decades, and lifetime, and the legacy that you want to leave beyond your own lifetime, and we reverse engineer it. So you tell me your dream, and I tell you what needs to happen tomorrow. And then we track it. And we track it. We create a system of success of goals and priorities. And then there's usually one most important skill. But essentially what I'm doing is reverse engineering the formula. But the formula, the principles are the same for everyone, but the way you apply the principles is different for everyone.
Okay.
Right. So all different industries, all different backgrounds, all different types of clients, male and female. So, but the principles I apply in my coaching are the same for everybody. But the way I apply those principles is totally different based on their goals.
It's tailored.
Yeah, it's completely custom based on the goals. Like a tangible example of this would be we have a 10-pound and 10-week challenge going on right now with 55 people. And I have a list of start weights and goal weights. It's February 1st to April 11th. And some people want to gain weight to build muscle. Other people want to burn weight, lose weight to burn fat. If that's the goal, to gain muscle, eating more is a good habit. If it's to burn fat, eating more is a bad habit. So bad and good is subjective based on the goal.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's why everything has to be reverse engineered. But in a world where people aren't thinking long-term and reverse engineering finish lines, a lot of us are just winging it. And then we wonder why we're not successful. And then we don't believe in ourselves. And then it's a whole thing.
Right. That's true. And so with Next Level University podcast, it's literally a university, correct? Where you really learn.
Yeah. It's not technically a university, quote unquote, but it's a place where you go to learn success, health, wealth, and love. So it's 1% improvement in your pocket type of thing. Yeah.
Now, when you do this every day, when you are on air with your podcast, is it people calling in and you answering questions, or you just giving a subject?
So me and my business partner, Kevin, I was someone who had a lot of self-belief and was very success oriented. He was someone who didn't believe in himself much, but we both had a common wound, which was low self-worth. We both grew up pretty rough.
Okay.
And abandonment issues, stepdad leaving, losing families, my birth father dying, all that kind of stuff. And so we realized in hindsight that we had common core values and common goals, but very complementary skill sets. So we're very different. We always joke we're the most different similar people you've ever met. It's quite a paradox. It's a duality.
Right.
But we were born and raised in the same town. You know, I call it the Boulevard of Broken Dreams, playfully, seriously. And we just rose from very, humble beginnings and built this thing. So it's him and I. We jump on the microphone every single day. We did earlier today, and it's tomorrow's episode that we recorded today. And it's set the stage, identify the problem, present the solution. It has to do with some sort of success principle. So we pick a topic, and then we built a business sort of underneath that podcast, so to speak. So we have listeners all over the world, 1.3 million listeners as of this weekend. I just tracked that.
Wow.
1.3 million listens, not necessarily listens, but a lot of them end up being in our communities and the fitness group, for example. And then a lot of them end up being clients. I have a book club. I do master classes every month, all kinds of stuff. But really, NLU is a place online in the 21st century where you can be a part of a next level community of people that are all going to celebrate you for having big goals and dreams.
Nice. What would be one piece of advice you would want to leave the audience?
Yeah, protect your goals and dreams. I said this recently. We did a episode on a different podcast I have called the Conscious Couples Podcast. My partner and I, we coach couples. We have been for 5 years. And I said, if you have a growth mindset, you're in the minority. Everyone says, I have a growth mindset, but deep down, subconsciously and unconsciously, a lot of people don't believe in themselves. And that's why they judge you. And literally, if you have big goals, I'm talking really big goals, and you actually intend on doing what it takes to achieve them, you are alone. And what I mean by that is only 4% of people have clear written goals that they are actually tracking. And you can look this up. Very small percentage, only 9% of people achieve their New Year's resolutions. So you're in the minority. People wandering around winging it and then romanticizing that is actually pretty common. So usually you're either really good at success or you're really good socially. It's very rare to be both. I used to be both, but then when I started to kind of realize that I was unfulfilled after my car accident, I started to really have bigger goals and dreams and lean into who I really am and be authentic and improve myself every day. like when I say I've, worked every day for 11 years, some people hear that and go, oh my God, workaholic, that's horrible. I would never want that. Other people go, wow, respect that, you have dreams and goals. That's really incredible. And whichever one you are, it means whether or not you're in the minority or the majority. And so just if you have big goals and dreams, hang on to them and protect them, because people will villainize. I always say rocks go up, compliments go down.
It is lonely.
Yeah.
Well, Alan, thank you so much. And I will definitely put your links in the podcast as well. And thank you so much for, embracing us with your wisdom, because wow, what an incredible business coach with such insight. And so I just want to say thank you for joining us, and to the listeners, thank you so much for listening. If you are looking for a business coach, here you go. Contact Alan Lazaros, and we will have his information in here. And if you want to reach out to him and also listen to his podcast, it's free to learn. And so that'll be great. And we just want to thank you so much for listening. Happy Monday and have a fantastic day. It's your time to shine.